What's poppin', guys? This is House Cat MMA, and right now I'm going to be going over the badassery of the one they call Ilia Topuria, and just some things he said recently and some things that he says he might want to do in the future. But before I get into all that, if you would just take a second to like and subscribe, maybe do a little bit of commenting and sharing, those will be the four coolest things you've done in the year 2025. So Ilia Topuria would have been great at anything he decided to do in life, whether that would have been TIG welding, homeland security, bricklaying, pole vaulting, being a bail bondsman, being a bounty hunter. He'd been great at all of it. He's a supremely effective individual. He's probably got an IQ of 147. And, he's decided he wants to take a little bit of time off from fighting on account of his wife up and wanted a divorce. And when you're 28 years old and your wife wants a divorce, it's going to fuck with you a little bit. I mean, when you get deeper in your 30s, 40s, 50s, you could kind of brush shit like that off. But you're 28, you love this woman. She says she wants a divorce. And next thing you know, there's AI pictures of her with a rapper. And it's AI, but it's not too far off from what's actually going on. And you're depressed, you're sad, you're a little angry. You're crying twice a day. This, that, and the third. It's going to fuck with you. You can't blame him for that. And, the fact that he kind of had the confidence to be like, I'm taking some time off. I need to get my mind clear. I need to get my head right. That is a product of maturity. That is a product of intelligence. And that is a product of just kind of knowing yourself to know that you're not going to be the man you are when you get in the octagon, when you're still sad about this woman. And most guys his age, most guys period, would have decided to keep on fighting. Like, fuck, I'm sad, I'm this, I'm that. I'm not going to be training as hard as I was on account of I'm sad and I'm this and I'm that. And I don't want to go in there and lose. Some people might think it's a product of cowardice. It's just him knowing thyself. And that's a very important thing, and I applaud him for that. And, he recently come out and said that he wanted to do a little bit of boxing. What you just heard is my cat in the background doing cat shit. He found a chicken bone in the garbage, and he's really fucking, he's going fucking nuts. You having fun, buddy? You want to make a cameo? Oh, he just ran out the room. Yeah, he said he wanted to get into a little bit of boxing. Ilia Topuria did. And like I was saying about him being good at anything he decided to do, whether it was pipeline construction or being a corrections officer, he would have done well. And boxing's one of those things that he's going to do well if he decides to up and start boxing. And I'm here for it. I'd like to see him versus Gervonta Davis. I'd like to see him versus Ryan Garcia. I'd like to see him against maybe a Canelo Alvarez or a guy like that. Or, since we're kind of doing this now, I mean, fuck it, give him to Jake Paul. Or give Jake Paul Ilia Topuria, and while you're at it, give him to Stiopic. That kind of thing. And Ilia was saying something to the effect of, he was kind of talking in parables a little bit in this article I was reading on Bloody Elbow. He was talking about he who hunts two rabbits at once ends up hunting neither. I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but that's what he said. And, I'm not sure exactly what that means, but it's kind of along the same lines of Jelly Roll saying in one of his songs, don't get too busy wrestling the alligators before you get to, don't get too busy fucking with the alligators before he cleaned the swamp or something like that. Or fucking Ricky Bobby's father-in-law telling Ricky, remember, Ricky, the field mouse is fast, but the owl sees at night. You know, this shit that don't fully make sense, but god damn it, it sounds good. But I think what Ilia means about the bunnies is you can't be focusing on two things at once. You know, it's you got to focus. You got to have tunnel vision, and right now his tunnel vision set on him getting his mind clear. You know, getting his head right. And you know, I think that's really tight. And right now you kind of got Justin Gaethje and Paddy Pimblett getting ready to get into a physical altercation for the interim title, and I kind of like that Ilia might want to go to boxing, because when you have a champion that's that dominant, you know, it's well and good, and you know, you respect that as a fan. But it's kind of cool to see the belt change hands every so often. You know, I like John Jones, but it gets a little boring seeing the guy win over and over again. You know, Anderson Silva too, it got boring. Demetrius Johnson, it got boring. You know, it gets boring, you know, knowing the outcome of the fight. So I'd like to see Justin Gaethje win an actual undisputed belt. Like, I don't know what's going to happen between him and Paddy Pimblett. If I'm a betting man, I'm going to go Paddy Pimblett, but you know, I'd like to see. I don't really care, but you know, Paddy Pimblett being champion, that makes the 155-pound division pretty exciting. Justin Gaethje being the champion. And when I say I don't care, I just mean, if Paddy's a champion, cool, good on him. You know, it's cool to see a young man succeed in life, but I'd rather see my boy Charlie Olives or Justin Gaethje win the belt. Or they got Arman fucking Sarukian, man. Arman Sarukian would be Paddy Pimblett and Justin Gaethje in the same night. Maybe not at the same time, but in the same night. You know, Arman Sarukian is kind of a Manel Cape type character where he'd cuss you before he looks at you. And that's what, in the UFC, we need champions that will cuss you before they look at you. I'm not about this fucking respectful handshaking, bowing shit. You know, I want my champions to say some off-colored shit that may or may not be shitty things to say. That kind of thing. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have on that. Just, you know, pretty much talking about Ilia Topuria and got into the state of the lightweight division a little bit. Feel free to tell me what you thought about this video in the comments below, good or bad. Do some sharing, some commenting, some subscribing. You know, maybe feel free to let me know about, you know, some ideas you might have for me to cover. But this is House Cat MMA, and I will catch y'all later.